waiting at the station with the workday wind blowing. I've got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces, I see frustration growing, and they don't see it showing. Why do I? You got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel.
So this is our Halloween Sunday, in case you couldn't tell. And it comes from an ancient Celtic holiday where people believed they needed to wear masks to protect themselves from the evil spirits that roamed the world. And we have a cartoon for you, Andrew, that says, if we convert, we still get to keep Halloween, don't we? There's a reason for that. We don't want to give up our place from under that mask. This is one of my favorite holidays. I love it. I love the costumes. I love the masks. It's easy. You don't have to cook anything. And you get to see all the villains and heroes and angels and monsters. When I lived in Santa Barbara, California, my girlfriend and I decided for Halloween we would be Mr. and Mrs. Pig. And Andrew, you have that picture, don't you? And so we went through the thrift store, and I'm Mr. Pig, and she's Mrs. Pig, and we made these felt faces, and we put ears. She's got that little hat with the veil on it, you know, that you used to wear, and she put her pig ears on. And you can't see it, but I've got a tail coming out of me. And we were invited to the Montecito Country Club, which is a very elite club outside of Santa Barbara, for the Halloween party. And if you show the next picture, this is a picture of Donna. And would you believe she got asked to dance at that party? And later on, Halloween was on one night, so we went downtown Santa Barbara, and one of the restaurants there has a great big table in a big picture window. So she sat on one side, and I sat on the other side in our pig outfits, drinking through straws, because that's the only thing we could get into our mouths, and just had so much fun watching the people as they, walked by and then went and took a double take. I love dressing up. I love pretending to be someone else under the mask. Just like all the kids do, and just like the kids in here do right now. So 7-year-old Kevin was real excited about his costume. He was going to be a zombie. And he went to the next door neighbor trick-or-treating, and the next door neighbor yanked his mask off and said, "Oh, it's just you." The greatest fear that we have is to show our true self, and someone will say, "Oh, it's just you." If we convert, we still get to keep Halloween, don't we? If I get spiritual, I still get to live under a mask? I don't think so. But thousands of years later, we're doing it, aren't we? We're still wearing these masks to protect ourselves, and not from bad spirits. From what? We're trying to hide our imaginary flaws under it, aren't we? So the world won't see them. And we wear different masks. We wear a mask at home with our family. We wear another mask when we go to work. We wear one in the community. In all our different relationships, we put on different masks, pretending to be something we're not. Afraid to let this beautiful, unique, authentic self that's underneath show. And when we wear all these masks, what happens is we start to think we're this piece and this piece. I remember sitting when I was in my 20s in my backyard sobbing, going, I don't know who I am. Because I watched myself act as these different people in these different places in my life. But by doing that, we lose sight of who we really are. Psalms 139:14 says, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. There's a a Bible that came out in 2000, and it's called the Message Bible, and it uses contemporary language. And I'm going to read this same Psalms from this. It says, I am marvelously made. What a creation. You know me inside and out, like an open book. You watch me grow from conception to birth. All the stages of my life spread out before you. My life prepared before I'd even lived one day. And at how we wander from that direction. I am unique. I am a child of the universe with treasures and limits unknown. And I have a gift all my own. But I can't know that gift. I can't know my full potential until I take this mask off, until I let my authentic self come through. Because it's only then that I can bring my strength, my gifts into this world. So there may be other people who say, well, you know, they got the same gift I do, they do the same thing I do, but they're not you. They may be better at something, but they're not you. They can't bring what is yours to bring into this world the way you can, and that's where the power is. So my question to you is, your question to you is, what mask am I hiding under? And I'm going to just give you a few. So, Andrew, let's look at the June Cleaver mask. Yes, I'm happy. If by happy you mean exhausted, overworked, and unappreciated. So does part of you hide behind the false smile? Pretending life is rosy? After all, my life should be perfect. Everyone else's is, right? And then what happens? And I know I did this. I become a people pleaser. I never said no to anything, to anyone. Because I was afraid if I put my needs first, they wouldn't like me. Been there? And so, I would please others at the cost of my own happiness. Fear causes us to put our own needs off to the side and put other people first. But the June Cleaver mask isn't going to protect us. What happens is underneath that mask we just become exhausted, overworked, and feeling unappreciated. We just become more and more miserable. The other mask, you got it for us, Andrew? Is the Arnold Schwarzenegger mask. We pretend to be strong, right? Even if we're falling apart inside. Been there? Yeah. So to others on the outside, it looks like, I got it. I'm holding it all together. But inside, I may be struggling with self-worth, relationships, even my faith, feeling like I can't take another step. Have you ever thought that those that seem to be so strong out here are just pretending? That they're hiding their fears, they're hiding their pain? Our true strength lies in being authentic, being ourselves, asking for help when we need it, allowing others to love and support us when we can't do it ourselves. Asking for help is not an act of weakness. It's courage. It takes courage to ask for help. Right, guys? Like it takes courage to ask for directions, right? Yeah. We can't have Arnold Schwarzenegger's strength all the time. And in those times we can't, let someone else be Arnold for you. The next mask, Albert Einstein. Anyone wear this one? Why not? Who doesn't want to be an Einstein, right? Feels good to be smarter, have all the answers. But you know what? There's always someone smarter. One of my favorite shows is Jeopardy. You never get to be the champion forever, do you? I was at a conference, a minister's conference last week. And one of the keynote speakers, they were talking about, of course, peace in the world, and the two of them were peacemakers, and they were out there actually doing this work. And one of the keynote speakers said the main ingredient to peace on the planet is listening. And that the two words that limit us, that stop peace, and that stop us from spiritually growing, the two words are, I know. Because when I say I know, even though I think I do, I'm not listening anymore, am I? And I'm not hearing anymore. There's always something for me to hear. Trying to be an Einstein blocks our access to our God-given powers. You know the 12 powers we have? It blocks our access to the power of wisdom and the power of understanding. This one's fun. It's the Buddha mask. So I wear the Buddha mask. I'm special. I'm just above it all. I'm not affected by the world, by people out there. And when I wear that mask, I think it's okay for me to, if you're having a problem, I can advise you. I can just regurgitate all that stuff I've read, all that stuff I heard, all that stuff I studied. You know, I got a wealth of knowledge in here, and I can just pour it out, so I bring my Einstein and my Buddha together. And I do it whether anybody asks for it or not, right? But when I look behind the mask, under the mask of someone doing the spiritual fluff, when I look into their eyes, when I look into their soul, sometimes I see confusion, longing, sometimes emptiness, and sometimes just a desire to want to know God, to be closer to God. The next one, I love this one, is Oscar the Grouch. You got any Oscars in your life, always putting others down, grumbling their way through life, intimidating anyone they can with their gruffness? That grumpiness isolates them from others, but it's their protection. It's their protection. It keeps them from being hurt, from embarrassed, from rejected. It keeps them safe. You know what? Oscar the Grouch really doesn't want to spend the rest of his life in that garbage can. He really wants to get out and stretch his legs. And underneath all that grouchiness, that person that's in your life is a lonely person who just really needs a big hug. One of the things at the conference that they really made a point of, when someone out here has their mask on and this mask is pushing my buttons, and it's not feeling good, I might want to back away or get away from them, can I be present? And can I look in their eyes? Because when we look in each other's eyes, we connect human to human, spirit to spirit, soul to soul. And that's what draws out our authenticity. That's what draws out the true self in us. It's hard to constantly pretend to be the way I think Dixie wants me to be. The way I think my congregation wants me to be. I wasn't being a great minister just before service because none of the mics were working. It's hard to be and pretend something we're not. And it's okay to let that humanness come out. By living under that mask, we get exhausted and our spirit and our soul get drained. And we do forget who we are. And we end up living a very shallow life. We end up living a life that could be so rich and so deep and so fulfilling, a life that is our birthright. But how can I do that if I'm always under this mask? If I'm always playing little parts, not really being me? When I do that, everything in my life and everyone in my life is cheated. When I choose to be fake, I keep so much from others and so much from the world. We sang, I am unique. And each one of us is unique. That doesn't mean special. That means there's a part of you that is different. And that is a gift that you can bring into this world. You don't have to try to figure out what it is. All you have to do is get out from under that mask and just be. Just be you. And as you do, there will be an energy that comes through you. There will be a clarity that comes through your head that points you in different directions. I mean, Fleet got pointed to leave Florida and go to California. And by doing that, his whole life, he is bringing his gift to so many people. He is being recognized. He is being recognized for the gift that he is. And I remember, we were at Unity in Melbourne. Fleet, they made a box for him to stand on. You stand on this box and you can't move. This man moves, and you're going to see it when he sings for us. He can't be still. And he went someplace with that uniqueness. He loves to sing, stand on tables. But it's that uniqueness that has allowed him to grow and become who he is today. Our families, our marriages, our relationships, our relationship to God, all get cheated when we don't allow ourselves to be authentic. Faking it keeps us from being our beautiful self. Have you ever noticed how good it feels to be in the presence that's being 100% authentic? Don't you feel like a sense of peace for them? A sense of safety? And then what happens? My authentic self starts to come out. It's like, wow, I can be me. So we can do that. By being our authentic self, we can create a space for others to be their authentic selves. So think about this. What would happen if you started removing some of your masks? If you started being more authentic and more honest? So just think about some places. Kind of in your mind, think about maybe some of the masks. There might not be these masks up here, but some of the masks you may use. And if in that particular area you decided to take it off, how would your marriage be affected? How would your friendships be affected? How would your co-workers be affected? How would your relationship with God be different? One of the biggest things we do, and I watch it all the time, is here's the real world, here's my church world, here's my spiritual world. And never the two shall meet. And I tell you so many times, when you go out that door, take this with you. Don't leave it in this chair. Bring your authenticity into the world, and when you do that, your spirituality will grow, your connection to God will grow. It takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable, doesn't it? That's why we hide under those masks. So I'm inviting you to start trying to remove them. Because when you do, you're going to find a presence inside of you that is quiet, that is still, and at the same time, so powerful. That presence in you that will lead you out into this world and bring you the deepness of this life, the richness of this life, the joy of this life. I'm trying to remember. I think, yeah, it was yesterday morning. I decided to go to the beach for sunrise. And I just received a song from a friend that has really touched my heart. And so as I walked the beach, I played that song. And my heart just kept opening and opening, and at the same time the sun was coming up. And when I give myself the gift of that, when I remember to, okay, not jump into my day and rushing, give myself the gift of starting it that way, I'm stepping out from under the mask. I'm allowing my authentic self to be there. And as I stood there with the sun coming up and the waves splashing on me, I could just feel my heart opening. I could feel the tears running down my cheeks, and I could feel the oneness. I could feel the greatness of who and what we're meant to be in this world. And each of you can do that too. But I have to come out from under that mask. I have to stop being who I think everybody else wants me to be. And I tell you, colors change, they look brighter. People look more beautiful. You can't look at them without loving them. So this week I want you to start letting your genuine, beautiful self out. I want you to come out from under that mask. I want you to experience the freedom and the joy of the uniqueness that you came here to be. God bless you.